I was doing some research, and there's 36 million individuals that have hearing loss today. That's from little ones all the way up to older adults. A lot of times, most of our patients come in not only on their own accord, but because family members or friends telling them that they think they might have a hearing loss. Sometimes people don't want to admit they have a hearing loss because there's a stigma of they're looking older, and that's not always the case. Some people might notice that they have difficulty in background noise, and that's one of the first symptoms of a hearing loss, is difficulty hearing individuals in background noise. Also, not being able to hear female speakers or children. What we want to do is you want to go to a professional that does a comprehensive hearing test. There's been a big debate about hearing aid dealers and audiologists, so I won't get into that. But a comprehensive hearing test will not only show what type of or what kind of hearing loss you have or how much hearing loss, but the type of hearing loss. And that's important because certain type of hearing loss may be able to be medically treated. Most generally they can't be, it's more of a permanent, but there are different types of hearing loss. To start with, we look in the ear to see if there's any wax or cerumen, that's a fancy word for wax, in the ears, because sometimes it's just the wax is plugging the ear up and causing hearing loss. So we look in their ears, and then we do a test to measure their middle ear to see if it's working good, if there's any fluid, because fluid is also a culprit of hearing loss. When we do that, we write down all our information and we'll come into a test booth, and that's when we do a hearing test where we use headphones or insert earphones to test how it hears through the outer, the middle, and the inner ear. And then we do a bone conduction test, and that helps bypass the middle ear and the outer ear and just test directly the inner ear, and that helps us tell if it's a middle ear hearing loss called a conductive hearing loss, or if it's B, a sensory neural or a permanent hearing loss in the inner ear, or if it's C, a combination of both, and it's called a mixed hearing loss. If it is a conductive hearing loss or a mixed hearing loss, we would most generally send them to an ear, nose, and throat specialist who can see if they can treat this hearing loss, if there's any medical treatment for it. Most generally, patients don't have that type of hearing loss, but it is a possibility. The more common hearing loss is sensory neural, or the permanent one, and that's the one that most older individuals have. It's called presbycusis, and it's just the aging, the hearing loss associated with aging. And so after the test, we would discuss what type they have. If it was a permanent hearing loss, a sensory neural hearing loss, and then we would talk to the individuals about the severity of their hearing loss, the type, and then go over any questions they might have about that. After talking to the patient and educating them about their hearing loss, then we would talk about treatment options. Unfortunately, for the permanent, the sensory neural hearing loss, there's not a treatment for it. There's not a cure for it. There's not a cure for it, I'm sorry. But the treatment for it is hearing aids. And so then we would discuss hearing aids, the different styles and levels of technology, and which ones work best for their hearing loss and their lifestyle. Medicare does not cover hearing aids, and a lot of times if they have a secondary, it won't cover it, but more and more private insurance are starting to cover a little bit on hearing aids. Most generally, they don't cover the whole cost, but there are a few plans that have a really good benefit, like Blue Cross Federal Insurance. Medicaid will cover hearing aids for little one for children 21 or younger, but they won't, if an individual has Medicaid and is an adult, they won't cover hearing aids. Hearing aids usually generally last 4 to 6, some people say 5 to 7 years. If you think about it, the ear is a very hostile environment. There's a lot of oil, the skin, there's water, even though there's hearing aids that are now more water resistant, but it's like a computer, and think about your computer system, your laptop computer only lasts for X amount of years, and hearing aids do too. Once you get past the 5, 6, 7 years, you're going to have to repair the hearing aids a lot more frequently, and it's going to cost a lot of money. So in the long run, it's cheaper after a while to buy a new set of hearing aids. They usually have warranties, about 2 to 3 year warranties on them that they can also be extended. Most generally, when they're fit with hearing aids, they'll come back 1 to 2 times within the first 30 days. In Oklahoma, they have a 30-day trial period, no matter where they go to purchase their hearing aids. So they can try their hearing aids for 30 days. If they don't like them, they can return them, and they'll get 90% of their money back. So that's something that individuals need to know, so that they're not stuck with that hearing aid, and you can always try different hearing aids within that period of time. So.